Alright, y'all. Hope everyone is doing well. So, today we're going to be talking about how my run went at Pittsburgh Regionals. I was able to attend Pittsburgh this last weekend. Um, I brought a pretty cool team. I honestly felt good about my performance. It was definitely bittersweet. It was a little bit more bitter than sweet, I would say. But we'll talk about that. You can see my team here. We went 5-3 in total. This was a team that I was working on for, I would say, like 3 or so weeks leading up to the tournament. Like, I wasn't working on it very hard, but I had just been like going over the idea occasionally on Showdown, and then like I was working decently hard over the last like day or two leading up to the tournament, just like making final adjustments on the team, right? So just talking about the team in, I guess, short form, like I'm gonna do a formal team write-up on the team at some point, just because it feels like if I'm trying to take my growth mindset seriously, that's what I should do. Like, I need to take myself seriously as a player if I want to actually get those results and be respected in that way, I guess. You know what I mean? But yeah, like, so we can talk about the team really quick and like some of the lines that I generally think are what makes the team strong. But I'll do a formal write up. So it is an Ndidi Sneasler team, also having the Murkrow Ursaluna T-Tar, and then my most standout adjustment to the team being Typhlosion. So, some things mainly to just say is that obviously Ndidi Sneasler is very strong right now. Expanding Force hits everything for a lot of damage. Sneasler is one of the fastest things in the format with the Unburden. And just hits very hard, hits everything in general for pretty good damage because of the types that it has access to, right? So Ndidi Sneasler, just a great duo to start with, and is just something that I feel comfortable with. There was, I think, argument for keeping Psychic Terra on Ndidi just in case I needed extra burst damage, but I did Terra Fairy Ndidi at least like one time, I think, just to make it live longer. So, like, I don't know. Maybe I would have terrored it more times for burst damage. So it's hard to say, right? But it didn't feel like that was what stopped me. It definitely wasn't what stopped me from getting day 2. So, the team the team could have gotten day 2, and we'll talk about that, right? Tyranitar, I think, is just incredibly well positioned into some of the more scarier things in the format right now. Like, itself is really good into Ndidi, Sneasler. It's really good into Rillaboom. It's pretty decent into Ursaluna, Blood Moon. It's good into King Gambit. So it's really good at pressuring all these threats from your opponent that normally would be able to like force your board position into like unfavorable situations, right? Like, if you have Tyranitar on the field, they like really have to respect it, right? So Tyranitar, just great Pokemon. The Terra Blast, I think really coming in clutch. And the Assault Vest, I maybe could have gotten away with running safety goggles, I'll just say that. But Typhlosion really helps into the like Sun matchup, particularly like versus Jumpluff Sun or Lilligant Sun. If you just start Typhlosion plus Ndidi or something, right? And then switch in T-Tar right away, Terra, Typhlosion, click Eruption. There's nothing they can really do about that. Like, if they don't start their own Torkoal and they switch in on the same time as you and they get the Sun, like, that's one thing, right? But if you're switching in Torkoal, or I mean Tyranitar, like, you're breaking their Sash almost, definitely with the Sand Chip if they go down to Sash. you know. So it's just the Typhlosion really helps with certain matchups, and it also helps with like the Sneasler matchup, honestly, like Rillaboom Sneasler, because Choice Scarf Typhlosion is faster than Unburdened Sneasler when paired with Murkrow or whatever, you know. So it just plays the mind games. And then Ursaluna having the Electric Terra was a late adjustment that felt right to me, because like Blood Moon still hits very hard. It still does like 85% even to Annihilate. So, you know, you're generally one-shotting almost everything. And then just I was not liking the Sneasler matchup without it. So Murkrow, I felt like, was definitely pulling the team a lot more than it felt like, but maybe could have been something else, like a Whimsicott, right? Like, you know, it does have the haze for helping with my own close combats. At one point, I had Goldango on the team, which was one of the things that it helped with, but it also has the Manual Sun, right? So, you know, we can take away opponent boosts, we can set Manual Sun, you know, we have the Tailwind to do Tailwind plus Typhlosion in front of like Sneasler, Rillaboom, right? And it kind of like forces them into an awkward position, you know? So, look at my Ursaluna. So this is the spreads that I was running. There's some Pokemon that I just never really feel necessary to not run 252 on, like the Sneasler. I recognized that most people are getting away with Adamant, and the extra damage is really nice. So like, I'm going for Adamant Sneasler, but I'm still running 252. Indeedee, kind of same thing. Like, I have the Sash. I really don't need bulk, like, but I also want to hit hard. So we're running Modest. Typhlosion, again, you know, you really just don't need to run Timid. Like, the extra damage is nice. He's a fast boy. Like, Ursaluna is Timid. Still hits very hard. Something that I noticed when I looked back at my team, which was a slight, like, error on my part, but not one that really, like, lost me any games, just something I should have thought about a little bit harder, is that my T-Tar and my Ursaluna are the same speed. Like, if anything, you should probably have Ursaluna one speed faster than Tyranitar in the case that Blood Moon can one-shot something, and then Tyranitar either picks up the extra chip or gets to single target something, or, you know, target the other slot, right? So that was something. I don't think it ever really mattered. And then, yeah, I mean, Murkrow is just the Murkrow set that I've always been running. Equal defenses, equal max HP. It got the job done. I never felt like it was like a hindrance. I'm sure maybe there was a time where like having more of one of the bulks would have made a difference, right? But yeah, you know, that's the team. Looking at how my day went in general, like I said, I went 5-3. It definitely was a little more like bitter than sweet, which I don't think it looks like it should be that way. Like, based on what we got right here, like I was kicking butt. You know what I'm saying? I went win-win. Like, I didn't drop a single game in the games that I won. And then, I mean, I basically pulled what looks like my worst matchup in the last 2 rounds, which is like Archrain plus Amoonguss and Incineroar. So I pulled that in both of my last rounds and lost both of my last rounds, which is kind of what makes it bittersweet and like more bitter. But what, you know, was really unfortunate was just that, like, I really, really could have won round 8, and I kind of just, like, I started crumbling a little bit in game 3. Like, my opponent got a little bit lucky in game 3 as well, but like I had already started crumbling before they got unlucky and like made like multiple bad plays. So it just, it hurts to go out that way, like when you like legitimately could have won, and like I could have got my first day too. Like, it's like the one goal I have for myself, but just couldn't get there, right? So it's growth mind state, and you just kind of gotta let yourself feel all the emotions, I think, is like the way to say it, right? Like the main thing that I feel like about it, for whatever reason, that I don't think is like a worthwhile concern for me to have, but it is just a way that I feel, is like I worry that like this is somehow the closest I'll ever get to a day 2, and like this was my real chance and I like blew it, you know what I mean? And I don't think that's necessarily the case. Like, I have been progressively getting better at this, like I've gotten multiple 5-4s. I've gotten a 6-3 back when we did 9 rounds. And then, I went 5-3 in this one. And this was my first ever, like, time actually playing win-in-ins, getting to the point where, like, okay, like, I could actually day 2 right now. But, it's, I recognize that I have been, getting progressively better results, and not only that, like, I am still literally building almost all on my own, and so that's something that I need to, like, remind myself to appreciate, even though, like, it is something that, like, it's like I want to team build with other people. Like, I'm not sitting here, like, saying, like, I team build by myself. Like, like, it's if anything, it's something that I've complained about and then, like, has fallen on deaf ears. Like, I'm like, guys, like, help me out, you know what I mean? Put me in one of the team building groups. Like, I can get there. Like, I don't want to have to get day 2 one time just to prove to people that I should be allowed in the team building groups, like, that are getting people day 2 with their friends, you know what I mean? So it just hurts, but it's all good. Like, the team definitely did what it needed to. So yeah, I mean, just looking at the rounds instead of, rambling, I guess I would say. So I'm trying not to be negative about it, you know what I mean? Like, I'm so proud of myself. So in round 1, it was my opponent's first tournament. They had a very interesting dash bun team, dox bun, whatever the thing is called, right? And it really, like, was not a one-sided game at all. Like, my opponent did very well, and even though they did start 0-5 and it was their first tournament, they ended up finishing 3-5. So I'm really proud of them for that. Like, I think they had it's a very great mentality for them to have been able to, like, stick it out, and, like, even after going 0-5, not dropping, and then to end up going 3-5. Like, I think that had to have been, like, a very gratifying feeling for them. And this is a cool team. Like, I can't even say that it's not. The Assault Vest dash bun, while, let's be honest, is not, like, it's not your meta call. It's not the thing you should be expecting to win you games. Like, it may be on a bit of a different team, right? Like, if this team was had a couple different moving parts, I'm not going to say dash bun can't be good, but I actually do like the Assault Vest set that he settled on with the body press, play rough, crunch, endeavor. So it's cool stuff for sure. And I don't know what I want to say about how this match went, because I got the hiccups for a second. I'm not quite sure what I want to say about it. So, like, I remember that in game 1, I basically, he led, like, Wims something, and I just knew that was an opportunity to instead of clicking Tailwind, just double target them and get whims off the field. So I started Murkrow Sneasler, just clicked Foul Play Dire Claw, got rid of whims right away, Tailwinded the next turn, and then just kind of worked my way into the win. The next game, he did try to do the Dash Bun, and it was scary. I mean, it just, like, in the end of the day, I was able to outspeed it and, like, get enough damage to not let it run away with the game, right? But, like, it did get an Endeavor off on me while it was down at 20 health and took my Tyranitar, I think it was, like, down to 20 health, and I was like, ooh. You know what I mean? So it was scary. Or no, it wasn't Tyranitar. So what actually happened in game 2 was Terra grounded the Rillaboom and, like, had the chance to target Tyranitar, and I was gonna just let him do it because I was like, well, I need to know who's faster, honestly. So, like, if he's gonna win based on this, like, he's gonna just win based on it, and I'll just try to beat him in game 3, right? So I didn't switch out T-Tar. He high horsepowered the other spot, trying to call that I was going to switch Murkrow for T-Tar or something. And then, you know, I just got to KO it that turn, and I got the win from there. So, yeah, I mean, it was a win-win. It was a scary team, like, but definitely, you know, props to the homie for it being his first regional and, you know, building this cool team by himself. You know what I mean? Like, it's a man after my own heart, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, so round 2 was versus Rishi Gupta. Rishi had a very scary team. Rishi ended up making day 2. I did lose the first game. It was very close. Like, what it came down to was, in one of the very last turns, I had, like, Tyranitar Ursaluna on the field or something like that, and I protected Ursaluna and Terra'd Tyranitar, and he last respected the Tyranitar and targeted it with the whatever else he had to, right? So, like, Tyranitar just went down, and then I just had Ursaluna versus his, like, 2 or 3 Pokemon that were left. And I even forgot then that I shouldn't target the Basculegion because Basculegion can't hit me with last respects, right? But I think the game was already over. Like, I don't think targeting the Basculegion was what lost me the game that time after it already got down to, like, a 1v2 or whatever. So yeah, I mean, I lost the first game. I won the second one by basically, like, my plan was, if I lead Murkrow Typhlosion, I can force them to Terra either Corviknight or Goldango, and then just try to run away with the game. If they start Tyranitar, that's pretty much as bad as it gets for me, but then I just have to, like, switch in my own Tyranitar or Ursaluna and try to, like, go from there, right? But so I got him to Terra his Corviknight, and then with the combination of, like, the Eruption Chip and Foul Play from Murkrow, which has definitely been, like, one of the more clutch things on the team, you know, we were just able to whittle through the team. And then in game 3, I think it played out, like, generally similarly to the first game, or I mean to the second game, but he just played well. So it's like, you know, he's a good player. Like, it happens. Going on to round 3, I faced this interesting Indeedee Armorogue team that's kind of like a dual mode, right? Like, technically it has Tailwind, it can also go Trick Room, right? I felt like the safest thing to do was just lead Indeedee Sneasler and click in Imprison and start doing imprisoned things, right? I think I actually led Indeedee Tyranitar in both or one of the games because the knockoff is just so devastating into the Indeedee Armorogue pair. Like, they can't really do that much about it besides just trying to redirect and hope it goes well. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, I imprisoned them and then I just won the game. You know, that's basically what it comes down to. Like, and then whatever I did in game 2 worked. Like, so it's hard for me to really pin it down more than that. Like, there's in psychology, there's the primacy and the recency effect. So, like, you remember the very first couple things in a set and the last couple things in a set the most. And so, like, if you're taking my whole day as a set, I remember the first couple rounds pretty well. Remember the last couple rounds pretty well. The stuff in the middle is kind of like I was fighting, I was fighting. But yeah, it's, I didn't feel very threatened by this team. Like, it is scary, but it just, like, yeah, it's Armorogue. Like, Armorogue's not, like, the best right now. So, going into round 4, this was one of the teams that I was more worried about, just because it is a very positionally heavy game. Like, it's not like I don't have a good matchup into it. I have a decent matchup, but it's very much so just about who plays better, kind of, or who gets the better luck. So, like, if one of us makes better switch outs, if one of us gets the right lead, or one of us gets the right read, one of us is going to win the game, right? And that's basically what ended up happening. So I led Murkrow, Sneasler, or Indeedee Sneasler game 1 versus, like, Dragonite, Goldango or something. And I put the Dragonite to sleep literally right away with Dire Claw. So, like, they got a turn 1 sleep, game 1. And then once Dragonite went down, turn 3, right when they brought out Incineroar, I flinched it. So, like, Incineroar didn't even get to do anything. I just flinched it right away. Like, done. So, yeah, I mean, he barely even got a chance to play the game he wanted to play in game 1. And then in game 2, I made all the correct reads. Like, So I played enough of this team on Showdown to realize that I actually have a really favorable matchup into Incineroar with Ghost Terra, because I can KO Incineroar with a -1 close combat plus a Terra Blast, and if they Ghost Terra, they can't Terra anything else on their team, and I have Foul Play, right? So, like, if I click Foul Play, I literally just do, like, 80% into Ghost Terra and Incineroar, and I just kind of don't have to worry about it as much, right? So there's a lot of, like, disincentive for them to Ghost Terra the Incineroar, and if I do call it correctly, I'm putting myself in a huge winning position, right? And so that was actually what happened, right? Was they started Dragonite Incin game 1, and I tried to not target the Incin, seeing if they would Ghost Terra, put the Dragonite to sleep. They switched in Goldango, turn 1, and then it just kind of had to deal with it. Game 2, I actually did target the Incineroar. So I got the close combat Terra Blast KO on Incineroar. They brought in Amoonguss, started trying to do Amoonguss things. I think they, like, put Indeedee to sleep, so I had decent chip on Amoonguss, down to, like, maybe, like, 60 to 40%, I don't remember. And then I just figured, like, close combat the Amoonguss. It's my best damage right now, and, like, it forces them into a weird board state where, like, they want to switch out Amoonguss, but, like, can they? and they actually switched out Mungus that turn into King Gambit, which they didn't bring the first game, and I just one-shot it with close combat, and then it was like, okay, well, now you just have 2 Pokemon, like, and one of them's Amoonguss, so, like, if I just take out one thing, like, I'm just winning, right? So, like, it snowballed away from him very quickly, and I just got the reads right. I got lucky game 1, I got the reads game 2. Wasn't technically a read on the King Gambit switch, it was just a safe play. So, going into round 5, I really don't remember why I won this round, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like, my Tyranitar is just well positioned into their team. So, like, my matchup is ever so slightly more favorable into their team because I was able to pretty much, if I wanted to, just go like Indeedee, Sneasler, Tyranitar, Typhlosion, and like give them a really hard time in some way, shape, or form with those 4 Pokemon. Like maybe working in a Murkrow, you know. I don't know if I brought Ursaluna. That's the thing. Like I don't remember what actually happened really, but like I know that their Indeedee was a lot harder for them to use than they wanted it to be than mine, and the Focus Sash felt really good because like it was like if I need to, I will literally just one-shot their Indeedee with Throat Chop, you know, Dark Terror, Throat Chop, or Knock Off or whatever. You know, it's just not really a problem. Or Foul Play, you know, we'll do like over 50%, you know. So I would say this was definitely, I played pretty well and I just had a pretty good matchup into the team. That's what it comes down to. So the Volcarona looks really hard to use into my team. I think they might have brought it one match. And it just didn't do what they needed it to, you know. They clicked like Struggle Bug a few times, you know. Round 6 versus Darius. We have faced Darius and Big Mike OG in previous tournaments. I faced Big Mike OG in like just like Limitless a few times, and then I faced Darius in a draft league a while ago. So this is another awkward matchup. Like I think it was like I had 3 matchups in a row between round 4 and round 6 that really felt like I only won because I played really well or maybe got a slight bit of luck and just like kept the board state in my favor. Like all 3 of these were matchups that I wasn't feeling particularly good about, but that like I knew were like the common stuff. Like, because like if you think about it, it's really not that much different than my team. Technically, me and him only share Ursaluna in this case, right? But like, you know, the Ursaluna, T-Tar, Annihilate, Incin, Dragonite, like Rillaboom, like that's all the stuff. Like that's, you should expect to see that type of stuff. So like, you know, it's, while I felt comfortable facing it, I recognized that it is a very strong team that I was going to need to play well against if I wanted to beat it, right? That being said, we still got the WW. I just can't say why. I really don't remember. I know they did bring Ninetales to at least one match. I know that I got use out of my Ursaluna in this one. I told him, I remember during the matches that I was very rarely using my Ursaluna up until this match. And then, like, specifically, my Ursaluna was really helping versus his team. So yeah, I wish I remembered what happened better. I think he missed a Scale Shot. So there is that. Like, I did get my share of luck occasionally. I remember missing a Rock Slide at some point as well. So like, I had my share of luck go my wrong way as well. I missed a heat wave at some point. I don't know if I even brought Typhlosion to these matches. So, like, yeah, I was proud of myself for not dropping a single game in the matches that I won, because I told all the 4 to 6 opponents, I was like, I don't feel like I should be winning this. I'm honest with you, like, I really don't. So going on to round 7. Round 7, we faced Blake Silver. Blake, did very well by beating me. He auto guaranteed day 2 since we were both 5-1 at that point. And yeah, I mean, like, this, like, him and Rishi were beat me in the most convincingly. There's nothing I can fault about how it went, right? There was a little bit of luck that went his way. There was a little bit of luck that went my way at points. You know what I mean? So you have to kind of factor all of that together and still remember that, like, he just played well, right? So in game 1, I led Typhlosion Murkrow with Indeedee Sneasler in the back, and it was generally well positioned into his team. He faked out Typhlosion turn 1 and switched in Pelipper, I think, and I just manually set the Sunny Day, and then just had a turn to keep going, right? And then I Grass Terra'd, and he forgot about Flash Fire, and he Flare Blitzed Typhlosion, and it was just over from there. I literally just wiped out the whole field by clicking Sunny Day, Flash Fire boosted Eruption for the rest of the game. It was over. So unfortunately, yeah, for him, he pretty much just auto lost game 1, and I could tell he was feeling very uncomfortable about it. His adjustment game 2 was very strong. He adjusted by leading a Moongus Golden Go, I think, and I adjusted to Indeedee Sneasler with Typhlosion Murkrow in the back. It was unfortunate for me, how this game went, if I'm being honest, because it almost literally could have just been another win-win. But so starting on turn 1, he got an he actually started Quaquaval in this game. So he started Quaquaval Amoonguss, and he Aqua Step crit my Sneasler on turn 1 and one-shot Sneasler. So immediately I was down to Indeedee Typhlosion Murkrow, and it my offense was dwindling. You know what I mean? So what from that point I brought out Typhlosion, but unfortunately I locked into a water move, and it was a really dumb play, because if I had locked into Terra Blast, I would have at least had more of a fighting chance. But I got very diminishing returns from whatever fire move I locked into, because he just set the rain, and I had a really hard time positioning in my sun, right? And so he if I had locked into Terra Blast, I would have been able to get really good chip into Pelipper and get rid of Pelipper right away as he was putting my Indeedee to sleep. And then it would have just been Amoonguss and Quaquaval versus Indeedee Typhlosion. He might have already got rid of the other thing at that point. I kind of forget. But what really lost me the game at that point wasn't even the fact that I locked into Terra Blast. It was the fact that I got max sleep turns on Indeedee. So, like, after getting max sleep turns on Indeedee, it just meant that, like, I just didn't have a chance. And he is right that, like, he had already been starting to create a position where, like, if I didn't get max sleep, like, and I played bad, I still probably could have lost, right? Because, like, he was doing really good chip into Indeedee with the pollen puffs. But yeah, just, like, not locking into Terra Blast and getting max sleep turns on Indeedee put me in, like, the worst possible end position that I could have been in. So, like, that sucked. And then in game 3, he just legitimately played better. You know, that happens. He got a crit with Goldango on my Tyranitar, but, like, it didn't even make a difference, and we both knew it, you know what I mean? Like, it just wasn't a deciding factor. Like, I was already in a unfavorable board position because I didn't adjust in a way that helped me beat Amoonguss. And that's really what it came down to. So, like, the Amoonguss was a problem, and maybe if I had started Sneasler Typhlosion and just, like, you know, clicked Eruption Throat Chop, like, that's one thing, right? But I didn't. I did bring Tyranitar in the back game 3 instead of Indeedee. So I went back to the Murkrow Typhlosion lead game 3, and then I brought Tyranitar Sneasler in the back. And, like, it was good. It's just that, like, unfortunately, I would have been better off leading, like, Typhlosion Sneasler. So, you know, it is what it is. No harm, no foul, I guess. Like, you know, Blake's a good player. Going on to round 8. Like I said, I pulled another bad matchup, which sucks, but, like, that's not even why I lost, and that's the real salt in the wound about it. Like, I legitimately could have day 2'd, like, which is my one big goal for myself in this game, like, and I guess we're just still on the chase, you know? So, talking about how it went, it's harder for me to remember this one as well because, like, the fatigue was definitely settling in. If I had to guess, I would say round 1. I don't remember him bringing Amoonguss at all. So, like, I don't think he even brought Amoonguss, which is, you know, one of the things that my team has a bigger problem with. I think game 1, I, like, you know, called the Incin, so, like, you know, I got the close combat Terra Blast. I set up Sunny Day and then just kind of started running away with the game, right? So that was that. Game 2, it came down to a board position where it was Incin Kingdra with, I knew he had Arch in the back, but, like, he hadn't technically brought it out. And I had Sneasler plus something on the field. Maybe Murkrow. I don't remember if it was Murkrow. But, like, I tried to call that he was going to target Protect Kingdra, even though I knew that he had no way to get rid of my Sneasler that turn, and Kingdra was the biggest threat, and our Chowdon's in the back if they wanted to switch in for Kingdra. So, like, my main worry was that my close combat might not KO Kingdra from the amount of health it had. And then, like, I was just wasting a turn, right? But, like, they didn't protect Kingdra, and, like, losing Sneasler that turn pretty much just meant I couldn't beat Incin Arch anymore. So, I don't remember if I had Murkrow Sneasler on the field that game, or I mean that turn, but what I would have needed to do that turn, if it was possible, is click Haze Close Combat, right? And then the close combat would have KO'd the Kingdra. So, I went to the win-loss, and then I just really fell apart in the game 3, and like that's what makes me feel bad. I want to be very like clear with Tristan. Like I'm not faulting his play at all. Like I think he played very well, and he missed a Draco Meteor that would have guaranteed him the game. But like at the point when he missed the Draco Meteor, I had already made probably like 3 misplays in the game 3 by just being tilted that had already lost me so much momentum that I was sitting there like, oh, you know what I mean? Just like going full tilt, just making bad plays. And so what it was like, I targeted a protect on a turn when I literally like could have just dire clawed their Rillaboom, and because of that I lost my Sneasler completely for free to them. Like just no Sneasler, barely gets to do anything. And so yeah, completely lost Sneasler by targeting a protect. I might have targeted another protect before that, but I forget. And then I had already whittled them down to Pelipper Kingdra versus 2 or 3 of my Pokemon. In the end, it was Murkrow Ursaluna on my side of the field versus Pelipper Kingdra. And there was a turn specifically where I was resetting Tailwind, and they matched my Tailwind on that turn, right? So they protected Kingdra, and they reset, and they matched my Tailwind. But what I could have done is I could have double targeted the Pelipper and gotten a KO on Pelipper without them even having a chance to set up Tailwind, and then I would have just won the game, right? So that was a turn that I misplayed by trying to read that they wouldn't protect Kingdra, and they did. Then came the Draco Meteor miss. So like after those 2 or 3 misplays, they missed a Draco Meteor. I had a turn before that again made another misplay by Blood Mooning their Pelipper when it protected. So I Blood Mooned Pelipper. Whatever I just said. I Blood Mooned Pelipper on a protect. I don't remember if Kingdra protected that turn as well. So like, I don't know. But yeah, Kingdra missed. Hyper Voice did over half to both Pelipper and Kingdra. And then there was 1 turn of Tailwind left, which, here's what, like, I completely just, like, fried off, like, my brain off with, and, like, just didn't even think about it, right? If there's 1 turn of Tailwind left, and I literally have Protect, they should expect me to click Protect so that I can reset the Tailwind, right? And that's exactly what I did. You know what I mean? I protected Ursaluna after taking them both under half health with my Hyper Voice. They double targeted Murkrow, and then it was just Kingdra and Pelipper versus Ursaluna, and Kingdra's Draco Meteor still had enough firepower in it to KO my Ursaluna. So it was like, literally, if I had just stopped getting in my brain too much and, like, first off, not made like 2 to 3 misplays in the early game, but then in the very last turn, or like second to last turn, however you want to look at it, like, if I had just recognized that, like, I actually should just click Hyper Voice and not Protect, like, I make day 2. But I didn't. you know? So it's like, it's very, very bittersweet, siding towards bitter, because I needed to click one button, right? Like, I literally just needed to click hyper voice, and I would have made day 2, would have been my first day 2 with a team that I built myself, which is like something that I take pride in, even though like it's not like I'm like I want to be building by myself, you know. I'm just, if I did it, I'd be proud, you know. And I had a cool team. So yeah, it's just, it is what it is. I'm trying not to beat myself up about it, even though I know I sound upset, and like I am rightfully upset to some degree. Like, you have to feel the emotions, and you just have to let yourself be determined to come back and try again. And I know that this one is always gonna like just bite me a little bit, because like the more times it takes me to reach day 2, I'm always going to be thinking about this one as the one that I could have done it. You know what I mean? So, like, I hope that it doesn't take me many more regionals to get a day 2. I know that I'm generally on the trajectory towards progress, and, like, if it's any indication, hopefully, like, I day 2 within the next couple regionals, you know, 2 or 3 would make me happy, right? The next one would be great. But it would have been really nice for this to be the one. And it just sucks that it could have. Like, and like, it's not even that I pulled like one of my worst matchups in the last 2 rounds. Like, I just got in my head in the game 3 of round 8, and I forgot a lot of my own things that were helping me win up until that point, like making very aggressive reads, like why didn't I literally just go after Rillaboom when like high horsepower can one-shot me? Like, why didn't I? You know, it's like, come on, man. Like sure, they could have switched in Arch, but like they didn't even bring Arch that game. Like, you know, at least I don't think they did. So yeah, it just it it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like I said, I just gotta let myself feel all the emotions. Appreciate those who were there for me. Sorry for the bikes. And yeah, and just appreciate the process. You know, like, I really appreciate everyone who was excited for me having the opportunity to maybe reach day 2, you know, who was there, because I did see a lot of my friends there, you know, and it was just a good reminder that I have my place in the community with friends who really do care about me and really are my friends. And yeah, you know, just there was a lot of people who just came up to me and were saying very like nice things, you know, like multiple people telling me like, you know, you're one of the nicest people I've ever faced, or like, you know, talked to at regionals. And I was like, yeah, you know, I really appreciate that, because I know I have a tendency to like get in my head. I'm a very introspective person, and like it comes out on Twitter a lot more than I would like it to. Like, I'm kind of like the like depressed it poster, you know, on Twitter, and it's not meant to be that way, you know. Like, I am a very positive guy, and it's just nice to have people remind you that like they do see that side of you. Like, you know, I am a very nice person. I have my friends in the community who are willing to support me to get to this point where I'm like pretty much consistently going 5-3 at regionals. You know, I had 1-2-6 recently, but we won't talk about that, you know. But yeah, it's just, I really do appreciate everyone who is there for me. and we'll try to bounce back. Try the team if you want to. Sorry that I couldn't pull it through to those who were really rooting for me. I know I don't have to say sorry, but like I let myself down just as much as that's really what it is. You know what I mean? So we're taking it all in stride. I'm gonna stop rambling about it. I do want to say thank you so much to everyone who just supported me and just reminded me that just take it in stride, take it one game at a time, and I have my community. It's the community is there for me as much as I at times will talk myself into feeling negative, right? So again, I'm gonna stop rambling. Thank you so much to everyone who is boys, and if you appreciate the content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll try to get back to making more content, playing in more online tournaments, but I'm not gonna have the chance to do more in-person tournaments until my jewelry stuff takes off a little bit, and if anything, I'm just gonna try to practice a little bit more in online tournaments just in case, just to keep my presence up and to keep trying to give back to the community, and trying to get you guys more content since I know I haven't been making as much content. So yeah, I'll stop rambling, but it is what it is. I was happy with the team. It's a really cool team, and consider trying it, so we'll get there one day. Thank you again to everyone who is as boys, and till the next one,